All right. So, sorry, my camera's gonna have to be off for a second while I read through this. Patricia,
Here.
Avi,
Wait, hold on. Did you call me?
yes.
I'm here.
Okay. Emma,
Here.
Trevor,
Here.
Noah,
Here.
Peter,
Present.
Jenna,
Here.
Crystal,
Here.
Bree,
Here.
Elias,
Here.
Willie,
Here.
Bennett, I'm here. Lucas,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
Olivia,
Here, but my name is spelled wrong in the attendance. Can you just my last name?
yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. There we go. Kyrie,
Here.
India,
Here.
Emily,
Here.
Tyler,
Here.
Kristen,
Here.
Payne,
Here.
Natalie,
Here.
Jasmine.
Here.
And everyone else's names will be added in. We just haven't gotten them down yet. So if your name's not in there, shoot me an email or something. I'll put my email in the chat. Perfect. So, wonderful.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve last week's minutes? Is there a second? Any abstentions? I mean, all those in favor, sorry. Senate, you do realize you have to motion, please. No one's doing anything.
Motion to continue?
Okay. So, any abstentions? Okay. So there is no guest speaker for this week. And moving on to constituent comments. Is there any constituent comments? No. Okay, going on to cabinet reports. Chief of Staff.
Hi, everyone. So in case you haven't looked at your calendar recently, 1 week from tonight, we will be anticipating election results because we have a nationwide general election. We have presidential races, congressional races, state races, local races. Because of that, my focus for this week is entirely election-based. Now, given that all of us were either elected by students or confirmed by people who are appointed or elected by students, we should be serving as role models here, encouraging people to get out the vote. So I believe all of you got an email from me last week just talking about different efforts that we can take to get out the vote. If any of you are interested in doing so, just send me a video about why you think it's important to vote, preferably with a nonpartisan lens. You can email me at that address. If you could get that to me by this weekend, that would be fabulous. That way, hopefully we can post it maybe Monday. Bree, Bennett, and myself make up sort of a working committee that will very likely disband after the election, working on get out the vote efforts. If you think that you'd be a great addition, awesome. Let us know. Message me and be sure to get those materials in. Other than that, I've heard from a lot of students about the need for constitutional reforms, which I think are warranted. I think the Constitution is a very well-intending, solid document, but it just isn't updated to include Robert's Rules procedures. There's no indication of a succession plan, and I think that should be changed, especially in the presence of a public health crisis. So I've been working with Trevor and the Rules Committee, shout out to them, to develop another sort of working committee to go over changes that we think should be made to the Constitution. Of course, anything that we come up with has to be confirmed by a supermajority of the Senate. But that being said, we think it's a really important issue. Are there any questions?
Willie?
This is more just a general question for you, Emma. Will the polls be closed by the time GA occurs?
To my knowledge, no. Polls are going to go from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. In Pennsylvania, that is. If you want to vote out of state, that's your own situation. It's perfectly okay to miss a GA meeting, but we encourage you to use that for things like family emergencies, illnesses. But again, that's totally your jurisdiction. But no, there will be an awkward half hour in which the polls are open.
If there's no other questions, we can move on to Attorney General.
Hi, folks. Short report tonight. I have my committee now. And it consists of Emily Mullen and James Mosey. So really excited to have you guys aboard. I'll be emailing the two of you guys this week with Emma CC'd. And as Emma's indicated, that our primary focus will be, our initial focus at least, maybe by the end of the semester, I'm sure we can get at least a couple constitutional revisions and get them approved by the end of the semester. At least some starting stuff, and maybe identify some areas to work on next semester. And we'll have some clubs constitutions to approve, but I'm really excited to have you. So I'll be in touch.
Lucas, did you have a question?
I actually had a question regarding election day and having a meeting on election day, but it's fine now. I guess I got skipped over. I'll bring it up in new business.
Got you. Okay, is there no questions for Trevor? We can move on to Director of Finance.
Hey everybody, hope that your weeks went well. I also have my committee. It consists of Payne and Lucas. Going forward this week, I kind of have, we have no finance requests because there's no budgets right now. But with that in mind, I'd like to bring up something called Stratum Fisca, which is Latin for blanket fund. A lot of clubs right now have shown some serious dissatisfaction with the inability to access money. Our budget is made up of the Student Action Fund, which each individual student pays in a certain amount throughout the each semester. And with budget hearings being 10 days away almost, and applications not even being due for another week, I want to open up a blanket fund to every club to allow them to use just a small amount of money for the next 10 days so that if they need to do something or they want to do something, that they have the access. Like, for example, Knitting Club, they have shown some a little bit of dissatisfaction with the inability to get money, and I think that's a very fair and just thing. When I brought this up in cabinet, I brought a couple values. There's just about 100 clubs here, give or take. So excuse me if my math is off. Gretchen also brought this up, and Matt can probably back me up here because we discussed this as well. But some standard amount between $150 and $250 for clubs, which puts it at a range. I should probably explain who Gretchen is. Thank you, Peter. Gretchen was the last Matt, and she now, I'm not sure where she works now, but she's still in our administration, and she helps ASG a lot still. but I want to give our clubs some sort of money to get through the next 10 days. If it was $150, it would be about 15 grand, which only comes out to be like, I'm not sure how much of the percentage of the budget that is because I still haven't gotten that yet from Linda. But I like the idea of having $175 for clubs because that's, I think, a fair amount of money for the next 10 days. So what do you guys think? Any questions, comments, or concerns? If not, Peter.
Yeah, like I met with Union Latinx today, and that was something like like many clubs, and they expressed that they struggle without having any funds. So I think this is a very positive thing that could really help.
Jenna.
I think you talked about this in cabinet where you mentioned that if they don't use the money, it'll go into their. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up.
I almost forgot like the most important factor here. So if clubs don't choose to spend that money, it'll be allocated into their budget. While those who choose to spend it, so like if Club A spends $25, they'll get that $150 as a basis for their budget on top of whatever we decide in the request, the budget application request. But if clubs blow through that money in one day, then they just won't get the extra $175 or however much you guys decide on. Payne, do you have any questions? Does anyone else have any general questions like that? Payne?
I motion to bring Stratum Fiscus to a vote. Did I do that right?
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
So are we voting on $175 or like, is everyone okay with $175 per club, taking out $17,500 estimated out of the, I guess it would be just the budget because I haven't broken it down yet because I don't have the numbers yet. But is everyone okay with that number before we, I guess, vote on it?
All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes.
Other than that, I have some stuff to bring up in the old business and new business.
Okay, now moving on to Director of Organizational Development.
All right, so I'm going to collaborate with Bree for communication and press so that we can make posters for the CC that will have information about voting locations, the times, and the preset travel arrangements so that people can know when and where to go vote, because at this point registration's already closed. If people are going to vote, they're going to vote. If people don't want to vote, then they're not going to. So we need to tell everyone how and where to go vote. So we're going to be working on that. Be sure to keep a lookout for those because they will be going up soon. And to the senators, we are going to be doing some stuff with the agenda, and we would like to just put as much as we can into the agenda before General Assembly start, just so that it becomes more streamlined, it's much easier to read, and they will make GAs just a lot faster overall. So I'm going to be making a template, and I know that you guys as of yet don't have editing privileges. So if you could just until something gets worked out, send your agendas to me and I'll throw them in there real quick. You don't have to do it right now, but for future General Assemblies, if you could just shoot me an email with what you're kind of thinking of, I'll put it in there. And I'm going to be making that template, so it will be a lot easier. But yeah, it's been just kind of a short week for me, super busy with stuff. So there will be a lot more in the future. Thank you guys.
Is there any questions for Bennett? If not, we can move on to co-directors of student affairs.
So I'll go first. We are hopefully this week, if not this week, next week. Well, first I'll start with Olivia Brophy is on our committee. And so she's going to be working on filling up the product dispensers that are throughout the CC. So hopefully that happens this week or next week. I'm going to pick up on, so Kelsey Evans was the last co-director. She did a lot of stuff with the loop. So I'm going to pick up on where she left off and work on that a little bit. But yeah, that's it for me. Oh, also I'd like to add that if any of you guys have any like project ideas or something like that you see around campus that can be better, I'm looking for another project to work on, so let me know.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm going to, like Jenna said, I'm going to be also working on the machine. So Liv and I'll contact Liv later tonight and see if like we can fill up the machines again, either Thursday or Friday. And then on my part, as far as projects go, I'm going to be contacting the Silk organizations just to start seeing where I can get project ideas.
Is there any questions for Jenna or Crystal? Okay, Director of Community Relations.
Hi guys. First, my committee has been formed. It's got Kyrie and Rahul Weldemichael, and then ex officio, I'm gonna have Chubi Aratabanya. So the pen pal program, making progress on that. I've contacted Osvaldo Mesa from the MLK mentoring program, and he's discussing the idea this week at their staff meeting on Thursday. They do it every other week. So when I contacted him last week, he was like, I gotta wait to bring it up at our next one. Other than that, not a ton is happening right now. But now that I have a committee, we're going to be pushing forward, looking for new opportunities in the Meadville community to get connected on campus.
Any questions for Elias? Okay. Director of Diversity and Inclusion.
Hi, so I've recently met with 2 of the Silk organizations, so that's my goal, is to meet with all of them. They are Union Latinx and Green Students of Color Society. So that one, well, we just touched over some, introductions. I talked about some things that are important to them and, what they had going on. And that's just something I'm doing with my committee. Like whenever I have a meeting with them, I bring a committee member so that they can help take minutes, but also just, just familiarize themselves with those organizations. Next thing I have is I am appointing 2 ex officio. So that's like down below, you can see their bios. One of them is Lola Asden. She served on the committee last year. And one of them is Rahula. She served as an ex officio for community relations, and I both think they'd be great candidates and would certainly help me in the initiatives that we're doing. And then one initiative that I've been thinking about and I've been discussing is a student conduct board. So in the 2 organizations I've met with, they've expressed that they thought it was positive, but it's like with honor council, right? You're adjudicated by your peers, right? Because it's a council, and we're thinking of instituting a similar system with regular student conduct. So this is not COVID, but like just overall student conduct, so that when you meet with the administration, that you have a board of your peers that can like adjudicate your ruling. That's all I have.
Any questions for Peter? Director of Communications and Press.
Yeah, so before I begin, I want to say thank you. You guys are the most responsive Senate class that I have ever seen. Everybody sent in their mission statements, everybody sent in their bios. If you're a new senator, I will be in contact with you, so don't worry about deadlines. That doesn't apply to you. So we've got to catch you up a little bit. But thank you. And then I want to address class Instagram. So this question came up, can I have an Instagram for my class? And the answer is yes. That's typically ran within your Senate class. Like, that's up to you. I know just because I was on the Senate for 2023 last year that we already have one. So if there's one that exists, that might be worthwhile reaching out to last year's like president or vice president and just kind of saying, is there a way that I can get access to this? If not, just make a new one. So there's that option. And then just basically more so for a report, College Relations and ASG are going to collab. We're going to have Instagram ASG gifts, similar to what they're doing with like hashtag Allegheny Strong. We'll have them on Instagram as well. The website is being updated. If you go and look at it, all of your pictures and bios should be uploaded. And then, let me see what else. Okay, yes. And for weekly roundups, since I'm remote and since we can't necessarily meet in person, we typically do them in the ASG office. That's not an option this year. So they're going to be slightly modified. Either myself or my press secretary, who is Tyler Zanaxico, who's also on my committee, will be doing that. And then for public safety, we had the initiative, Abdi mentioned it, Abdi and Patty mentioned it last General Assembly. But public safety is getting an Instagram. It's more so like informative so that students know who their public safety officers are and so that we can foster better relationships with those officers and with our community members. And they are also having office hours on Friday. That's October 30th. And it will continue on weekly on Friday from 1 to 2 on Google Meet. I can get you access to the office hours links that will come out in the email following General Assembly. And then last but not least, I have 2 ex officios. That would be Chris Wakeem and Hannah Nugan. So their bios are at the very end of the agenda, so you can check that out and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Peter, did you have a question for Bree?
Yeah, sorry, I just stepped out for a second. Yeah, like Bree mentioned it, but we have a class Instagram, so like, like it takes like 5 seconds to do, like, and it's pretty helpful in like amplifying like what you do as an organization, because most students, I mean, they're not gonna really read the biweekly, the fact that or like check out the website. So, but like everyone's on Instagram, not everyone, but you get the point.
Any other questions for Bree? Okay, Director of Sustainability and Environmental Affairs.
So I'll start by introducing my committee, which will be Andy and Natalie. I've already discussed things with Andy. I'm meeting with Natalie later this week. Our first priority this year is going to be campus dining. I'm very proud to announce that it is the belief that we are going to get the green box system up and running for Module B of 2021. However, we are going to spend basically every spare second trying to figure out ways to mitigate it. So our end game is to retire the token system and convert fully to the Get mobile app. So if you're someone that likes to stock up on tokens and get like 50 green boxes, well, sorry, not sorry at all. We also want to try to incorporate the Get mobile app as well to be able to use the blue tote bags so that you don't get 50 bags whenever you get food from Kins. That's an effort that with Kelly Bolton, we're going to be presenting to the Director of Dining, Stephanie Lang, sometime in the near future. It's my goal, hopefully, to meet with her next week about that. The next initiative that we have going on are more recycle bins. So we want to make the recycle bins in the campus center a little bit more prevalent, as well as putting 1 to 2 outside in like across the campus grounds. That's an effort that Kelly already has in progress. So we're going to be able to have recycle bins outside and you don't have to walk to a building and like kind of like walk all over campus to throw away a water bottle, and you also don't have to throw it in the trash. And we also have some extra bottle refill stations. We're going to be kind of drafting which buildings require them the most. I believe every academic building and every residence hall has at least one. We're going to kind of bounce back and see which ones could require more. And then my final effort, Abdi mentioned the possibility of me doing a presentation with like YBL and some other groups about like sustainability and recycling. I love that initiative. Personally, I'm going to be designing several different presentations that can be used for educating people on sustainability, climate change, recycling, eco-friendly, and all that stuff. And I say several because I want to have a few for younger kids as well as some for adults. So there's going to be one for like an 8-year-old so that they kind of understand the gist, and that one's that an adult or a teenage aged person would have. And then I also want to start an effort. Kelly Bolton has asked for ASG's help to kind of champion the idea of having a sustainability seminar for either the orientation weekends in the summer or welcome weekend. This can be an optional sort of service. I know for welcome weekend we have like different student life panels. There's the thing we do in the gym, matriculation, stuff like that. And we just think that by having this panel or this seminar that's like, what is carbon neutrality? This is, if you have an electric car, this is where you charge it. This is how to recycle. This is what the green box system is once we finish that up, and just the ideas of composting and how just because you're using something that's compostable does not mean you're saving the environment. That's a panel we want to do. That's about it for my report. I timed myself so I didn't talk too long, and I'm at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm very proud of that. I'm going to shut up now because Noah has a question for me.
Yeah, it's just in regards to the box and the token. Since we're, I guess, going fully virtual, will there be a trade-in coin day in which people can trade their coins and tokens in for some, like Peter, and I have like 5 here in my room, for example. I'm quite the coin hoarder, I guess. Usually not on purpose because I just lose them. But will there be some sort of cash-in system for those who have the tokens? Because I feel like there's going to be a brief period in time where people have tokens and the app, and then people with 5 tokens like myself are going to be like, this is prime time to get max boxes. So how is that going to work? And will there be a QR code or something on the box that says it's your box for the time being? Like, how's that going to work with the Get Mobile app? Because that app is, I'm going to say it for everybody, terrible. Just terrible. And everyone laughs and nods in agreement. Yes, it is an awful app, and it's totally, I just don't know if it could handle that. The idea of it having another responsibility, because those 2 responsibilities of telling me how much money I have and how many swipes I have is already a lot, asking a lot for it. I'm just curious how you think that's gonna kind of flow.
Very, very descriptive. If we do retire the tokens, that's exactly what I want to do and have like a token turn-in day. I know we have extra sporks. I want to do something with that. In terms of the app, we're still working out some details with that. One idea I had was introducing it as a currency. So you would have your board meals, your munch money, and then your currency of green box, and that would be 1, and it would scan in sort of like you would buy a food. But that's something that Kelly and I, that's like number 1 on our next agenda whenever we meet. Oh, we got a lot of people. Yay, we care about the environment here. So we'll do Lucas, Jenna, Peter.
Considering we're in the middle of a pandemic, I know sometimes in the past we've had issues with green boxes being very dirty when they get returned to and like put in the next meal in. Is there going to be like a more extensive cleaning process with the green boxes? Because I've had green boxes before where there's like random gunk like plastered all over the inside of the green box.
That's well, for one, that's gross. But Kelly has assured me that the cleaning practices that were in place at least were enough to mitigate any spreads of COVID. The school would not even consider it if there was. In terms of there being splattered food or whatever, that's something that's the first I've ever heard about a green box being returned in such poor shape. Um, so I really hope that was like a one-time issue. But that is something I will look into. All I know is that it will be that it's with the like COVID transmissions, it's not susceptible to spreading the disease. Jenna, you're next.
How? So I know last year we talked about this a little bit. There was like an issue with I don't want to say receptiveness, but for lack of a better term, receptiveness of Parkhurst willing to, push a button that you're going to get a green box. I know there's like a whole issue of, added things for the people of Parkhurst to do. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys have kinked that out yet, but how are you guys gonna do that?
Yeah, we're already well aware of that. That was the second thing I brought up whenever we talked green boxes, and Stephanie Lang, the director of dining, has known about that for a while, and she is going to be training her people, just to make sure that they remember the green box system, that there's like a green box button to hit. But if we do end up going to the full Get Mobile system, where it's all virtual like that, there will be a formal button on the keypad thing or whatever they use to type in where it will say, green box. Peter?
Yeah, so I talked to Kat about like green boxes a few times last semester, and one of the things that like was an issue is like that I brought up like there's like scanners on the machine, so like why do we have tokens? And one of the things was that like also this came up during like Wi-Fi discussions, but like the IT system, like the Wi-Fi system in place is just not capable of. I mean, like I cut it in and out all the time just on Google Meets, and so that was the reasoning I heard last year for like why we had a token system, even though like you could have scanned it on Get Mobile like last year, but the Wi-Fi infrastructure was not strong enough.
Yeah, that's why I said mainly that end game is token removal. If we have to start the semester with tokens, that will be what happens. It is my goal by the time I'm done in this office to be rid of the tokens. However, the keypad that you're talking about, that's exactly why we have the token system, like you said, and that's why it's not going away. We're worrying we're not worrying. We're figuring out exactly how we can get that hooked in with IT. So I think Kelly has told me that they've made some good work. So we're working on that, but um, I'm hoping to get tokens gone as soon as possible. But if we have to bring the green box program up, just be examples. Don't be like Noah and stock up on tokens. Um, we are, yes, but that is more to be coming. So I just wanted to mainly get out that we are going to have the green box program back in full swing, COVID pending. So
Okay, so now we can move on to class reports on class of 2021.
Okay, hello everyone. I don't really have much to report other than I had some candidates interested to be part of my Senate. So I'll be meeting with them this week because I do want to get them appointed before next GA, just so we can start with everything with the class meetings and then organizing events, etc. I do have someone here, which is Nicholas Warrenchuk, if I'm pronouncing that correct. He wants to be appointed as senator, but I don't know if I was supposed to kind of bring that up in the beginning of the meeting, or I can bring it right now, or maybe next meeting. I'm not sure how to go about that.
Are you trying to get him sworn in today?
If it's possible, if not, I can wait till next meeting.
I know, but did you let him know he has to be here and have a
Yes.
introduction prepared already? Okay.
Yes, he's here.
So, all right. So he will be sworn in under the new business. Is
Okay.
that all?
Yes, that's all.
Is there any questions for Jasmine?
So now it's random the president's report.
On to class of 2022.
Hi. So we don't have anything new except for we have 2 senators to be sworn in. They're here tonight and basically just waiting for Abby to swear them in, but that's all the new business.
Class of 2023.
Hi, so this week we got back to Bree with our class motto, and our class motto is going to be the class of 2023 senators will strive to develop a sense of community, transparency within the Allegheny College community, Allegheny College student government, and Allegheny College community by keeping constituents informed and educated on issues within the Allegheny College community. So that's our mission statement. Our meetings are going to be weekly, Thursdays at 7:30 on Zoom somewhere, maybe Google Meets. I don't know. We'll have the link on our Instagram page that we're gonna do this week because I deleted the old one by accident from last year. So yeah, and then we're also just at the meeting this week, we're gonna brainstorm some ideas for the semester. And then yeah, that's it.
Class of 2024.
Hi. So I have a couple of things to update you guys on. So we did the weekly meeting, did our mission statement, and then I got the wheels going on a project I've been working on. It involves app Noonlight. I had a Zoom meeting this morning with the director of campus safety, and he's going to contact some people to see if this is even something that we can do. That's my update. Oh, one more thing. We also have one Senator Payne. He still needs to be sworn in. That's all.
Okay, moving on to VP's report. So kind of reiterate what Bree had mentioned earlier about the public safety initiative. There will be office hours this Friday from 1 to 2. Abdi and I do have to meet with President Link that same day at the same time. So if any of you guys are interested in being there with one of the with James Bassinger, to start the relationship with more of ASG rather than just us two, just let me know, email me. And then yesterday we met with Ron Cole. He explained a little bit more about what the president and VP's duties are when it comes to Board of Trustees meetings. We did mention earlier, if you guys weren't here, that we were unfortunate enough to not be able to attend the first Board of Trustees meeting, but Ron Cole is getting in the works a meeting with us to have with the Board of Trustees. Hopefully, I'll keep you guys posted on anything else. Another thing I kind of wanted to bring up just as like mentioning it is this idea of healing circles. And what these healing circles are is like diversity training. Angelica at the Idea Center has been conducting these healing circles already with the athletic department and an organization down in town. I forgot who she had mentioned. She sent me the information of how it went and how the responses were, and it seems like it could be very beneficial. I think this is something that needs to be implemented across all departments on campus. I did bring this up to Ron Cole when we met with him on Monday, and we'll also be discussing that as well. Is there any questions for me? Okay, if not, on to President.
Hello everyone. For all the new senators or the senators that didn't get sworn in yet, just get ready to repeat after me.
I'm sorry. I have a quick point of order. Have all of these nominees been voted on by the Senate yet?
I'm not sure.
Is it too demanding to ask that we do a confirmation vote?
Motion to approve all pending senators as a slate into office.
Second.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, passes.
Okay, getting back to it. Thank you, Lucas. Made things a lot easier. All new senators, just get ready to repeat after me. This is under the Constitution, under Article 1, just going off Section 1 and Section 2. It'll be I state your name, and then we'll start. So repeat after me after this. I state your name.
I, Payne Rizzer.
I, Olivia Brophy.
I, Kyria Denise.
I, Bridget Hayes.
I, Suzanne Fedor.
I, Peyton Mimeser.
And you guys are allowed to kind of like say it all together. It doesn't have to be one at a time, just for future references. Shall uphold the constitutions of ASG.
Shall uphold the constitutions of ASG.
I state your name.
I, Payne Rizzer.
I, Olivia Brophy.
Hayes.
I, Kyria Denise.
Shall strive to maintain the quality of.
Shall strive to maintain
the quality of.
And wherever feasible.
And wherever
feasible.
Improve upon the educational.
Improve upon the educational.
Cultural. And social aspects of the Allegheny community.
And social aspects
of the Allegheny community.
I state your name.
I,
Payne Rizzer.
I, Olivia Brophy.
Shall endeavor to reflect.
Shall endeavor
to reflect.
Represent. And crystallize student opinion.
Student opinion.
To organize and coordinate programs.
To organize and coordinate programs.
Of a co-curricular and extracurricular nature.
Of a co-curricular and extracurricular nature.
And to collaborate effectively.
And to collaborate
effectively.
With the faculty and administration.
With
the faculty and
administration.
In areas of common concern to the Allegheny community.
In
areas of common concern to the Allegheny community.
I appreciate you guys. Congratulations. Round of applause. Going on, just to give updates on the diversity podcast that I had last week, last Friday. Just talking with Jack Orman, his alumni, graduated in 2017, Emmy Award winner and a filmmaker. He's been kind of like highlighting the Black Lives Matter movements in Pittsburgh and throughout the country. And right now, I forgot what location he's in, but he's still currently doing that, and that went great. And the video should be posted on the YouTube. And if you just want to see more information on him, it's on the ASG website also. And also just to help out Bree, if you're not following the ASG on Instagram or Facebook, you should go ahead and do that. Provide you with more information and stuff that's going on, just from our side, and keep you in the loop with things. And it's also good for reminders also Oh, I got an email today from Professor Bennington about the academic calendar updates for 2020. I put the full update in the Senate folder. So if you go to Senate, you can see it says academic calendar. That's the document name. It's a lengthy document, so take your time reading it. But it also has a table of just like how the academic calendar is going to go for next year. But in short, he just said the curriculum committee has voted to add 2 break days to the spring 2021 semester, Wednesday, March 10th, and Tuesday, April 13th. This changes the last day of classes and the final exam period, but will not change the timing of commencement. And he said there'll be more on that. And he is hoping to come as the future guest speaker to further discuss the academic calendar for next semester. So if anyone has any questions or concerns, I would email him, or if anyone has anything they would like to add, critique or feedback, he's also open for answering everyone's questions or concerns, or also he's heavily looking for advice so any senators, anyone out there, just hit up Professor Ian Bennington, but he'll also be here as a guest speaker if you have follow-up questions after you meet with him or that come up further along later on. Just as Willie mentioned, Cabinet is planning to work with clubs and organizations to improve community relations. Like there's also the Bonner MLK mentoring program with Elias said he's working kind of to get like Pen Pal initiative program, and I'll kind of just be like reviewing and hoping to include some administrative help and some nonprofits that I know around the Meadville area to improve community relations, and hoping to like kind of change the perspective that the Meadville residents have on Allegheny students and the Allegheny community. So we'll have more updates on that. Hopefully programs and initiatives that can be laid out. Before I move on, does anyone have any questions or concerns dealing with that or anything that they'd like to add? Okay, moving along. Patty and I are having our second monthly meeting with President Link and our secretary, Pam Hyham. It'll be on the 30th, 1 p.m. Tippy. We'll just be discussing kind of like ways that ASG can kind of create better relations with administrations, and how we can help better help each other out with initiatives and goals. And Patty and I had some things that we wanted to discuss with them also. But if anyone has things that they feel that are impending or needs to be talked about, please reach out to Patty and I just to save time. And, we can kind of follow up and see what's going on. But if anyone has any questions or concerns or things they would like to bring up right now, go ahead.
Point of order, the ex officios have yet to be appointed. They were only nominated. So in the cabinet reports, when we say we have an ex officio, this is the person's name, it's a nomination. So I don't know if we want to do that now before we close General Assembly, but everybody has to be like sworn in.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to appoint all ex officios to all committees pending approval as a slate.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes.
Just open up again if anyone has any questions dealing with a monthly president-elect meeting, and Pam Hyham.
I have one thing, Abdi, and this doesn't relate directly to Pam, but it just relates to the senators, if you don't mind. Just me jumping in here real quick. For the classes that added the new senators, can you just put the names in, like for like the class 22, 2022, instead of saying 2 senators to be sworn in tonight, can you just put their names, if you guys don't mind, for future reference?
Is there anything else for Abdi? Okay, moving on. So, unfinished business, bonfire pits throughout the campus. This was the discussion we were having last week. I'm gonna give priority to Lucas and then Willie because I cut the conversation off before they got their points out last week. I will be setting a timer right now for a 5-minute discussion. Okay. I'll
All right,
bring
so
it on the floor.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. So we had a little finance meeting yesterday, I think it was, maybe. Me and Noah and Payne all spoke about this, and Noah actually brought up the point that President Link last year thought this would be a good idea to boost student morale on campus, add something more to do, and now it even like is a better idea because of like COVID. We can't do as much, but this would be a fun activity because it's fall and everyone loves fall activities, I guess. So what we're thinking of doing, she has a list somewhere. I think Noah or someone talked about her having a list of locations that she had in mind. But the only thing is that there's a couple of rules when it comes to this. That, like, you have to be. I think there's 100. Noah, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 100 feet away from a building or a structure?
If you don't mind me jumping, it was physical plant, and they it's 10 feet away from any building, and it can't be under any low-hanging plants that could fall and catch on fire, and then it can't be on grass. I'm pretty sure with us, since we're like a school and we have like liability, like legitimate liability, I think it has to be on stone, and then there has to be a fire pit, and then there has to be something to go on top, like a cover or something. But I'm unsure about the liability part on Allegheny's behalf, but I know that one of the spots was up at the that field where they play Quidditch, where the Dumbledore's army plays Quidditch at Buff North Village. I think it's 2. I'm not sure about the other spots. But if you want to find out more about that, Lucas, you should talk to Jeff Jones of Physical Plant.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to keep talking about this today, but I can email Jeff Jones, talk to him before next year, and we can bring it back up, or if we want to help fund it, or what our plan is with this. Also, there comes another thing that's like, if we actually want to, like, we're probably not going to be able to supply firewood because that's just a huge expense that we don't want to be paying for every single year from now on in. And then there's also the like a whole like liability system we probably have to set up with. Oh yeah, Student Action Fund will be funding the fire pits, and yeah. So there's a liability thing we're gonna have to set up too with Student Life or someone. I don't really know who it would be with. About like using the fire pits and like rules and stuff, but yeah, I can email the guy from Phys Plant and get back to you guys next week if that's what we want to do and table this, or I don't really know. It's up to you guys though.
Is it my turn? I think it's my turn. I think you crossed most of the T's and dotted the I's. As like 3rd generation firefighter, when I heard this idea, I was like, oh god. But I wanted to make sure that you guys were kind of like keeping an eye on basic safety things. My advice as someone who has seen this happen in the area is make sure that there's someone around that's kind of monitoring it. You do not want to put those any like close to buildings at all. Like, I'd recommend not be like, also make sure there's no leaf litter. We have leaves that are, leaves that are falling from the trees. Make sure they're not under any trees. If it's I guess if it's raining, you won't have it anyway. And also, this really isn't going to be a problem for us, but anytime you have a campfire, make sure you try to get local wood. You don't want to get wood from an area that's not in your area. You can bring all sorts of invasive species and all sorts of problems. And also, one last note about this that the person monitoring it should have is just a basic fire safety rule. If you throw, say, like paper plates or trash in the fire, it is a very bad idea to roast marshmallows on them because there could be toxins or particles. So that's why it's my advice that someone should be there to kind of monitor to make sure no one accidentally throws like gasoline on it or something.
Noah.
I believe that we have like a firefighting club on campus. What do you guys think about the prospects of enlisting them for this, and then we can pay them for their time that they watch the fire? Because fire is cool and all, but I bet you it loses its pizzazz once you're watching it for a couple hours in the Meadville cold. I know that there's like people on our campus who are largely involved in the Meadville firefighting, like the volunteer firefighting group. And I think it would be a great idea so that they could utilize and practice their skills in firefighting, as well as being a great asset to the social community of Allegheny College. Because I think not only that, it'll push groups together, because I'm not, like, I know one firefighter on our campus, but I would love to get to know some more, because if my house ever burns down, that's who I'm going to call.
Okay, so 5 minutes are over. So is there a motion to extend discussion time or to table till next week?
I'm gonna say motion to table till next meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, passes. On to the crosswalk on Main Street. We're gonna start off with Trevor and then to Kristen. Opening the floor now.
Why are we starting with me?
Last week when I ended the discussion, you guys still had points. If you don't have anything though, that's fine. We could just move on to Kristen.
I don't really remember exactly what I was going to say. I know I've reflected on the conversation from last week. There was a lot of discussion about like students just need to like watch out for cars. It can't be on the driver's fault. And I'm both a driver and a walker. We can hold cars and drivers accountable just as much as we hold students. Like there are people from big cities at this school, like from New York or DC, and man, they're just used to walking out on the street whenever they have the opportunity. So I don't think more education of our college educated campus is exactly the move here. I think maybe there's some conversations that need to be had with the dean of students and maybe some representatives in Meadville to get something done on this. But I mean, at the end of the day, like the law is, yield to pedestrians. So yeah, I think there's some safety things we can do. I loved the light idea. That was cool. Like the little flashing lights, those are neat. But yeah, let's not give drivers a free pass on this.
Yeah, and then I have nothing to add.
Willie?
Is there some sort of, going off on the light issue, is there some sort of system we can have in place for when it's raining or snowing? For example, I went in town to get a flu shot today, which I recommend getting a flu shot, and it was raining driving up, and I, with my prescription glasses and basically mini sunbeam headlights in my car, I still had trouble seeing people. And the regular lights work, but they're kind of timed for when it's dark. I was wondering if there was something we could do whenever it's just overcast and the big lights won't come on, because the big lights only really come on when it's dark. Something that can happen whenever it's like those like basically dark, technically not dark time of the day when it's raining in typical Meadville weather, but something that can help with that, just because rain is hard to drive in.
Is there no one else that wants to comment? Alrighty, we're gonna move on to new business. Major events committee, Jenna.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you all know that see if any of you guys are interested in being on MEC. So I'm on MEC, but I can never make a meeting. So if you are, let me know. I have another new business. If you're a new senator, so you just did all the swearing in and all of that stuff, send me an email. I just put my email in the chat so I can send you to a committee. So that way you guys can serve on a committee.
Okay, so diversity and inclusion ex officio reappointment of Lola Ashland Peter.
It was approved as a slate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, you guys. Okay, voting materials, PDF website, Emma.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to really bring this point home, as obnoxious as it might be. This is the last GA that we have until the election is over, with 30 minutes aside. So with that in mind, I'd like to bring to your attention the new and improved AC Votes website. I just included it in the chat. I will also include the URL in the agenda so you can visit it time and time again. I highly recommend using that for your voting resources. We also have just one more week to persuade people who might feel indifferent about this election to get out there and vote. If you know someone who's ready to sit out this election, send this their way. We want as much voter turnout as possible. If you think about 2014, there was a really low trend overall of voter turnout, but it was especially low here. In 2014, just over 8% of registered Allegheny students actually cast a ballot in 2014. None of us are responsible for that, but I think that's really sad, and I want to see us do better. We were able to really reverse that rate in 2018, but there was still a huge difference between people who registered and people who actually voted. So let's close that gap this time around. Thank you so much.
Okay, is there any constituent comments? Lucas, did you have something? Or was that from earlier?
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna bring this up. I know that most college activities like extracurriculars are suspended on election day normally. So I don't know what you guys want to do about that. But yeah, I know that's normally the deal. And I know it was the deal last year on election day for ASG because I think it fell. I don't know. I had like a finance meeting or something. We just didn't do it because it was election day. So I don't know if you guys.
Emma?
So to my knowledge, everything is operating as usual this year. This is because there's a condensed school schedule, and to my knowledge, nothing was canceled last year. I think maybe you're thinking about Gator Day, but in the past, Election Day has been business as usual. If quorum really wants there to be no meeting on Election Day, that's always possible. Just keep in mind that the next meeting will probably be pretty long because you'll have 2 weeks of information and actions to report. But no, to my knowledge, everything is business as usual.
Tyler?
As far as things being canceled for election day, I know at least all athletic practices have been canceled to give all students a chance to vote.
Lucas?
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not really sure if we want to talk about this or not, if we're going to meet next week, or if we just want to meet a different day next week. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there if anyone wants to hop in.
Andy?
Yeah, I agree with Lucas. I just think that it would be easier and give people a better chance of actually going to vote if they didn't have like some kind of time restrict.
Olivia, and also I just started a timer for discussion. 5 minutes.
I also know that the CPP is holding like a, I don't know, like results forum kind of thing in Quigley starting around 8 or something. So I just know that this is the time of our meeting is the time when results are going to be starting to come in. So I don't know. I just think it might be a little bit, it might be beneficial, even though we will have to have a longer meeting in 2 weeks. I think I would benefit and many of us would benefit to be able to watch the results live and be engaged with.
Willie?
I feel like as our student government, we probably should not hold a formal meeting on election day, just in case if some of us get caught at the polls, are late. I don't feel like a lot of our student body will really be focusing on us. I mean, I feel like it would be yeah, like Bennett said in the chat, everyone's going to be very invested in this election. I don't know about all of you, but my blood pressure has been significantly higher than it should be for the last couple of weeks. And I feel like if we wanted to maybe do like just a smaller meeting or a smaller meeting on Tuesday, maybe reschedule a meeting for some time other than in the week and or just skip the week altogether and just come back in 2 weeks.
Lucas?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I have class all day on Tuesdays and I don't get back till like 7:30 or like 7 o'clock normally, and I was gonna go vote before the polls close. So I don't know. I just feel like there's gonna be a lot of like conflicts. Everyone just wants to watch results. Like I know that's what I want to do. I just want to sit in my bed and nervously shake while I see results come in. So yeah, I don't know if we want to open a vote to either postpone or reschedule, or I don't know if someone wants to take initiative on that, or what we want to do, because or if we want to like do a little email chain about it, because I don't know. I'm just not getting everyone's input here, so yeah, it's kind of. You know, how about I'm gonna motion to postpone GA to a different time in the week or to the week after that.
I second.
All those in favor? Any
Can we do a
abstentions?
roll call vote since there's so many new senators and some people don't have their cameras on?
Sure, we can. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm just gonna go from how I see the computer screen. So, Payne,
Aye. What am I supposed to say? Oh, I approve.
Lucas,
Yes, I approve of my motion.
Kristen, Emily,
I approve.
Jasmine, Olivia,
Yes,
India,
Yes, I approve.
Tyler,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Peyton,
Yes.
Kyrie,
Yes.
Natalie,
I approve.
Okay, did I get everyone? If I did not, please put an asterisk. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so oh, Suzanne.
I don't think any of the new senators are on the roll call. I think Bennett maybe mentioned that earlier.
Yes, I did. For voting and for stuff like that, what we should do is we should read through the participants until that list is fully curated.
So just go based off the agenda.
I would go off the participants currently in the meeting right now.
Oh, okay.
But once again, if your name's not in the agenda, please send it to my email. It's at the very top of the chat.
So you want me to call everyone again to vote?
So whoever the new senators are who she did call, just put an asterisk in the chat and Patty will call on you. We'll just do that.
Yes.
Okay, Suzanne, I called you. Bridget?
Yes.
And then Payne.
Yes.
Okay, is that everyone? Nicholas?
I don't get a vote yet.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
The motion passes. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. So now, is there any constituent comments? Advisor announcements?
I've got nothing. Let me know if I can help.
Oh, okay, thank you. I couldn't see you, so I wasn't sure if you were responding.
I'm here. I swear.
Is there a motion to close? Oh, wait. Bree, did you have anything?
Just a point of order. I was a little bit confused. Are we not having General Assembly or are we moving it to a different day?
I mean, the motion I made was to not have it. So unless we want
Yeah,
to not have it
we
on
just-
Tuesday,
We just voted to not have it on Tuesday.
we can discuss maybe having it a different day next week in emails, but we voted on not having it.
Jasmine, did you have a similar concern?
Yeah, it was the same question as Bree, if like we were gonna have the meeting or we're gonna have it longer next week.
Okay. So is there a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes.
Have a nice night, everyone.
Have a good night. See you guys in 2 weeks.